its entirety here on Eurosport at the beginning of the month of September. But before the athletes get to the X Games, they have to go through the trial stage, the X Trials, the qualification events that take place throughout the USA. This week, we're in St. Petersburg, Florida, of course, for BMX action bicycle stunt in the Vert pipe, the half pipe, and in the street course. And we'll round off the program with some on-water action with the wakeboard competition. It's all coming up right here on Eurosport. Jimmy Walker, who finished in 9th place in last year's X Games in San Diego. He's already qualified to go back. He's competing here for a little bit of experience and, of course, to hone his skills in time for the X Games. They have a 60-second run, in fact, 2 60-second runs. The average score from the 2 60-second runs is the one that counts, and they're scored out of a possible 100 points. Jimmy Walker gets going in the half-pipe. No-footed can-can. And he starts using the pegs on the bike as he starts grinding his way along the coping. That's the section at the top of the half-pipe, using the front pegs there. And he'll stop the bike dead still. Oh, a nice reverse grind. Using the entire ramp from side to side. The riders have expressed huge delight with this ramp. They really like the way it's been laid out. Goes to the 540, lands it beautifully. And that was an excellent run from Jimmy Walker of the USA. That was the really high 540 from Walker. The highlight of an excellent routine. He goes into the lead with a score of 86. This is 28-year-old Rick Thorne, finished 8th in Vert at the X Games in San Diego last summer. Just recently moved to Huntington Beach, California. He's on the other side of the country now, competing in Florida, and they're all dealing with a large amount of wind here in St. Petersburg. 12 feet 6 inches high this year, this ramp, higher than last year. Time ticking away, 540, well executed, lost a little bit of speed, bar spin, and he stands on the coping tail whip, I beg your pardon. The crowd liked that one, but the judges know it was a fairly basic trick. Rides a lot with Dennis Mccoy, DMC, who we'll see a little bit later in this competition. DMC, one of the leading lights in this sport, and his influence has rubbed off on Rick Thorne. Oh, nearly nailed that backflip. That was very close. A pretty solid run from Rick Thorne. Should be enough for the lead. It's a 270 Smith grind. Here's the backflip. That close to putting that down. Good performance from Rick Thorne.
Not necessarily ride like a skater, but try to do something on each wall instead of just a simple pump there. So I achieved my goal. I'm happy with that run. I like it a lot.
Miron will be up next, the #1 Canadian. This is John Peacey. He's trying to qualify for the X Games, but had 1 or 2 problems today. This is where it all started to go wrong. Problem with the can-can, his right foot slipped off and it slid right out of the ramp. He had 2 minutes to fix his bike, and that's exactly what he's trying to do on your screens now. Britain's #1, Jason Davis, moved up into 4th place, but it didn't all go swimmingly. Big 540, and he slid off on landing, and then just jettisoned the bike with the bar spin. It landed right on top of him. And he was a little bit damaged after that, but eventually he got up to continue. So here's Jay Miron. Let's hear from him now.
It's doing pretty well. There's a lot of growing pains, obviously. It's come so far in the last 5 years. But, I mean, it's nothing you can't expect, you know. And when something gets this big, this fast, obviously people are going to be unhappy and things aren't going to be perfect, but it's going to work its way out. And I think within the next few years, it's going to smooth it out. And I want to be a part of it.
Miron with his thoughts on the rapid development of this sport. It is a real spectacle. A good TV sport, an excellent sport to go and watch from a spectator's point of view, full of thrills and obviously spills as well. Here's Miron, one of the top riders in the world, best of the Canadians. All good control, well, nearly good control. Had his feet down on the deck at the top of the ramp there. He's just taking time to refuel. Now he has to qualify this year, which is a little bit unusual because normally he'd be there by right, but he's been out with injury a little bit. 540, put it down beautifully. Now, is he going to finish with something big? 540 tail whip, but it whipped him to the ground pretty fast, and Miron crashes down. And we'll be thankful that that helmet is there to protect him. Let's hope there's not a reoccurrence of the injury. This was the 540. This was the end of the routine, the 540 tail whip, but that was a heavy fall, landed on his left shoulder. So Miron has done enough to go into the lead with 91.4, an excellent score from the Canadian. And he's up and running again. Dennis Mccoy, second place, silver medalist of last year's X Games. Let's hear what DMC's got to say.
So I just want to go out and try to ride good, like, you know, mix things up a little and just have fun with the whole thing and see how, you know, let the cards fall as they say. I'm not really too uptight or stressed out about any of it right now. I'm just coming here to ride.
DMC, Dennis Mccoy, has no need to qualify for the X Games. He's already there. He'll be taking part in San Diego, competing here to get the measure of his fellow competitors and also to get in some match practice. Loads of can-cans. That's when his feet come off the pedals. And a beautiful 540 from DMC. Dave Mirra, Dennis McCoy, Miron, Matt Hoffman, the leading lights in this sport. The four top men in BMX stunt riding. And McCoy is packing in the tricks here. Well, that was a little uncharacteristic mistake from Dennis McCoy, with 10 seconds remaining in this first run. Now, is he going to finish big? Building up for something. Here we go. It's the flare. Yep. Oh, no. Backflip with a 180-degree turn. This was the 540 earlier in the run. That was no problem. Here's the flare. And he very nearly put it down.
I'm pretty happy with mine. I had a real good first half. I sketched a few easy lip tricks and then slid out on the flare, so it didn't go as nice as I'd always like, but nothing ever does. I'm happy though.
Dave Mirra is the reigning X Games champion. He's up next. Before he goes, we can hear from him. Here's Dave Mirra.
If you're out here, you might as well do your best. I mean, if I do my best and I don't win, that's cool, but if I do my worst and just messing around, screwing up, all that kind of stuff, I mean, I'm going to be bummed. Anybody would, I think. You're going to a contest.
Dave Mirra with his newly peroxided blonde hair. Kind of suits him, actually. Well, you can't see it when he's competing. Here's Mirra, the reigning X Games champion, competing here at the X Trials for fun. Oh, it nearly went off the ramp. Inches away from a potentially nasty accident there, Dave Mirra. Backwards along the coping, on the pegs on the bike. Starts to do the technical tricks now. The crowd might not like them so much, but the judges score them highly. It's all to do with variation, combining the spectacular aerial tricks with the technical grinds, and using every inch of the ramp. 540. Oh, no, he's over. Thankful for those knee pads on that occasion, Dave Mirra, as he skidded across the base of the ramp. Now, let's have a look in slow-mo. That's a bar spin. Here's the 540. His front wheel over-rotated, and he skidded on his knees across the ramp. Dave Mirra has done enough to take the lead away from Dennis McCoy with 95 dead. Another run still to come. Dennis Mccoy is in second on 92.8 with Jay Miron third. Then Jason Davis of Great Britain and Rick Thorne in fifth. 6 to 10. These guys making up the numbers. After the break, the second run of the Vert competition from St. Petersburg, Florida. Stay with us here on Yours Action. Welcome back. One round down, one round to go in the BMX bicycle stunt Vert competition. We've seen all sorts of new tricks that the riders have been developing over the last year or so. And we're going to see more tricks, better tricks, as the X Games begin. Jimmy Walker is currently in 4th position. He needs 87 plus to get himself up into the podium positions. Here goes Jimmy Walker. Nice tabletop there. Nothing too spectacular so far from Jimmy Walker. Judges will be scoring these, but not very highly. Fairly basic tricks by today's standards. 540, that's a beauty. Straight into some technical tricks now for Jimmy Walker. Seems to be getting a little bit more air than he did in the first round this time round. Missed that one. The alley-oop grind didn't quite nail that one. Unbelievable control. And he's not even one of the best, Jimmy Walker. Oh dear, let himself down. Trying to do too much. Walker pushing the limits just a little too far. And Walker unlikely to improve his standing in the competition. Still got time left on the clock. Now, is he going to finish with something big? Maybe a flip or a flare? 60-second run, but if he wants, he can take an extra 15 seconds to finish a trick, but I think he ran out of ideas, ran out of confidence there at the end. And this really was the highlight of Jimmy Walker's run. Nothing really compared to the likes of Mccoy, Mirra. Pat Miller didn't get the points he required in his round one, but he threw a huge 540 with enormous height. This is where it all went wrong, though. Trying to do too much. That's the story of Pat Miller's run. That's the way they stand. Mirra, McCoy, Miron, the three big names. Matt Hoffman missing from this one. These three lead the way. And they'll be fighting it out for top spot. But Ryan Nyquist will be next to go for the USA. Tied for 8th after the first round. This is his first contest as a Vert professional. We've seen him on the street course a lot, but never in the ramp. Let's hear from Dave Mirra about Nyquist.
Awesome rider. Just watch out for him. See a lot of good stuff.
Mirra obviously rates him. Mirra still to go in this second round. Nyquist just taking a little time to get used to his ramp. He's more of a street course rider and a flatland rider. This is a different ball game coming into the huge Vert, where altitude is everything. Taking his time, building himself up now for something big as the clock ticks away. Just 19 years of age, Ryan Nyquist. Putting in some grinds towards the end of the second run. Well, it was good, but it wasn't good enough. Bar spin here from Nyquist, one way and then the other. Compared to the big three.
I do a lot of bar spins, like it just comes naturally to me, I guess. I don't know, you'll probably see it in my runs or whatever, but I mean, dirt-wise, I do a lot of boxing too, so I think it's just kind of went straight to here. Like anything I ride, I mean, it's going to be the same style. Like I put my heart into it. So.